Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Monday. We've been watching football, and oh man, it has been. I'm trying to understand why in the world they decided to do two Monday night games because it's bad enough watching one bad game, but watching two bad games at the same time doesn't make it a good game. The Steelers and the Browns, it's 22-19. The Carolina game, they were just ugly. And you know what's funny? It's almost comical. It doesn't matter what the Cowboys do. I know with the outside people out there that they're always going to say that the Cowboys are ass, Cowboys stink, all that stuff. And they're always going to change the narrative. Last year it was like, well, Dak Prescott should be more like Cooper Rush, and be more careful, stop taking chances. Of course, when, we start doing that with Mike McCarthy, then it's, well, Dak Prescott, something's wrong. He's not challenging. It's just like, it's crazy. It's still early in the season. A lot of teams haven't started hitting their stride. The Cowboys seem to be better suited right now than most teams. You look right now, Pat Mahomes looks like he misses having Eric Bieniemy as their offensive coordinator. There's some teams that are 2-0, but you look at them like the Commanders and say, yeah, they haven't exactly been playing the cream of the crop, but they've been fortunate to get the wins that they've gotten. Miami seems to look like they're the real deal with the Tyreek Hill and Tua combination. That's probably the best wide receiver quarterback combo in the NFL right now. And so we don't know, are the Lions a good team or are they a bad team? Do we know if Seattle's a good team or a bad team? Do we know if the 49ers really are a good team? Because, they beat the Steelers last week, and it was not exactly a blowout against the Rams where I don't know if the Rams are a good team because the Rams went ahead and beat Seattle. This is still early. The teams have yet to get their stride, but it seems like the Cowboys have actually in better shape. When you think about where we were last year at this time, oh my goodness, I don't even want to say good things because I don't want to jinx it. But think about last year where Tyron Smith was out. Tyler Smith was a rookie starting, and we haven't even had him out on the field yet. Thank God when he's going to be coming back hopefully soon. That will make the offensive line that much better. But Tyron Smith, knock on wood, has been, listed as injured, but has been playing good, playing like Tyrone of old. Well, he's not throwing people left and right, but he is definitely, at least so far, staying healthy. We do have some news. Ronald Jones, a guy who I really was looking forward to Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones, who ended up getting suspended because of the PEDs and so forth, was eligible to return today. And when he got the chance to, the Cowboys cut him. Now, that's not to say that the Cowboys, if he clears waivers, don't bring him back onto the roster. In fact, I think it's actually very likely. The fact that they kept him through the suspension was actually amazing to me. But with seeing some of the running backs that are going down, he may get picked up. He may definitely get picked up. Tonight, watching the Cleveland Browns game, Nick Chubb, you feel bad for Nick Chubb. He went down, carted off, and you could see him crying. You could see him look on his face that he knows, having blown out. It's the same knee that he blew out, I think, in 2015. And he doubted if he was ever going to be able to get back to playing football again. And he knows that that's the same knee, and it's going to be that much harder being older and having destroyed that knee again. And it makes you realize that, your time on the football field is precious, and there's no guarantees. Everybody is one play away from being retired. So you got to hold on tight and hope for the best and make the most of the time that you're there. So you don't know if Ronald Jones gets picked up by them. There's quite a few running backs that have gone down. And in fact, you sit there and look and say, Saquon, he's gone for the next 3 weeks. Running back have had a really hard way to go. Now, I'm going to say, Jerry Jones, deservedly so, gets a lot of shit. He does. But sometimes we don't give credit where credit's due. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and all that, I believe, messed in with Jason Garrett a lot. Let's be clear, we know that they did. But I think Jason Garrett needed that help. I think because of Dan Quinn, they learned to start trusting the football people. Mike McCarthy got a foot put in his ass after the 2020 season. Got a foot put in his ass after we lost to San Francisco the first time. But I believe he finally was able to say, hey, listen, like Bill Parcells, if you want me to cook dinner, you got to let me get the groceries. And I think the Joneses finally said, okay, you tell us what you need. And the first thing he said was, I need Kellen Moore out of here. Here's what's crazy to me. Every time the Cowboys let somebody go, the talking heads is always say, it's the biggest mistake in the world. They need to hold on to him. Because we were told, Kellen Moore was the difference maker for the offense. Kellen Moore with the offense, with Dak Prescott and Kellen Moore, they're the number one, scoring offense in the NFL. Right? True. But there's a time to be going for the jugular, and there's times to be conservative. And I don't think that Kellen Moore knew the difference. And we see the timing on the routes, we see the footwork and the mechanics of Dak. It looks different than it did with Kellen Moore. It's not to say Kellen Moore is not, can't draw up some plays, but there's a difference between having a guy who was a player, because a lot of times guys who are players don't make good coaches. I may know how to do it, but can I teach somebody else how to do it? This is where you see a lot of times the best coaches typically weren't great players, because it wasn't just naturally coming to them. They had to be that guy that had to be perfect, understand, the mechanics of everything, understanding the leverage, understanding that I can't just beat somebody with pure strength. I got to understand where I got to be the low man and use technique to get around. And as guys that aren't that great, they're better at teaching. But back to this point of when you look at people who leave Dallas, you look at Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory's year was terrible last year. Just was. They told us, oh my God, how can you let go of Randy Gregory, right? Amari Cooper, he's one of the few. He's the exception to the rule. You think of Cedric Wilson, we didn't re-sign him. I don't think he gets on the field except for special teams for Miami. No, Dalton Schultz. I don't think Dalton Schultz has 40 yards so far in the first 2 games. And what you see is, as much as everybody makes it out to be that Dak is the problem, the thing that's been consistent is these players play great or coaches do okay. Now, I'm not saying Super Bowl, but they do pretty damn good. And then when they leave and go elsewhere, they drop off. Sometimes they leave and go to better situations and don't do as well. At some point, you got to look at it and say, maybe it is actually Dak that's keeping that together, that's getting them to elevate and go a little higher. Maybe I know haters won't ever say that, but you have to start looking at that and thinking maybe there is something to that. People come, people go. Now the thing, sadly, that has been missing for the Cowboys for so long, Romo was a good enough quarterback to win a Super Bowl if he was on a team that was ready to go to the Super Bowl. The problem is we, and just like we have with Dak, we have lived by the sword and we have died by the sword. We have relied on saying the quarterback has to win us. If he doesn't win us, he's going to be the one that ends up losing us. You got Tony Romo against Denver, scoring 49 points, throws one interception in the end, and we lose. Defense couldn't stop Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos one time. Finally, we had a championship-style defense. Now, it's a long season. We got 15 games to go before playoffs. It's a long, long time. And the Cowboys look good right now, but they're going to go through a slump. They're going to go through a bad period. But it's how you respond to that. Can you pick yourself off the mat? Can you stop that snowball from going downhill? I'm betting that with a guy who seems to be on a mission, like Micah Parsons, who it's kind of cool that your best player is probably your hardest working one, that gets everybody looking and saying, well, he's a superstar. And if he's out here busting ass every day, how can I take a break? And I feel like in the past, recent past, it's been kind of like Camp Cupcake. If you are that guy, I'm the starter, I'm getting paid the big bucks. I don't have to work that hard in practice. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just felt like we had guys that were anointed that you are the guy and you don't have to work that hard because you are that guy. But in all actuality, when you are that guy, you have to work that much harder. You have to set the example. You have to be the one to get those other guys up to your level if you're going to succeed. So, that's where we are. Now, we got some news. Chimo Igato, don't know what I got for Mr. Roboto, who's actually played well for some relief of Tyler Smith, has a hyperextended elbow, which ain't good. We saw that with Neville Gallimore. Originally, they said he'd be out till week 3, and that was in 2020, and it ended up being till like week 12. So, yeah, hyperextended elbow on an offensive lineman is not good because you've got to be able to push. If you can't push, bro, that ain't good. Anyway, I'm tired. And got a lot to do tomorrow because we do have the people for the Historic Society want to have a meeting here tomorrow night. And, I've already told them that, we're not finished the place. They saw it a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, no, it's beautiful. It'll be great to see it while it's under construction and in the works. So, gonna try and get all this stuff cleaned up in here, get all my tools out of the way, get her swept up, and try and make her look as nice as possible. So, it'll be a busy day tomorrow. Yeah, definitely gonna be a busy day. But hey, I'm blessed with a project like this, and blessed with the ability to be able to make it a reality. All right, good people. The fire's letting me know my time is up. Just let it run. Place has come a long, long ways. Remember, good people, tell the people you love them. You might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. And hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.